Welcome to an I-21 demonstration video. What we're going to do today is we're going to enter a new contract for commodity, and we're going to take that commodity across our scale, and we're going to actually settle out on that commodity. So here we've got a corn purchase. We're going to go with our company Adept. Let's go 1,000 bushels. And now let's enter a delivery sequence. Now you might have seen in other videos where we can enter multiple sequences for one contract. In this case we're just going to do one. So let's say we're going to do 425 futures. 4.25, that'll be better. And then let's do 25 under for basis. Let's save that sequence. And now let's save this contract. So we've got contract number 3110, 3110, and that's the one we're going to be working with today. You don't actually have to remember that number, but I'm going to point it out just for reference sake for this example. So given that this was a purchase contract, let's go into our ticket management and let's bring it across our scale. So we're going to do a new ticket. And given that it's a purchase, it will clearly be a load in. And if you recall, the entity's name was Adept. So as I wait for the system to catch up with me, load in, Adept, corn. Now I could keep entering information, but what I know is I want to link to the certain contract. So let's go ahead and just select that contract. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I should save my progress before I start distributing the contract. But now what the system's going to do is it's going to look for the contracts for Adept. Now there's a few out here, so I could scroll to the bottom and it'll automatically be there. Otherwise, if I resort this a different way, it could have popped up automatically on the top. But given that I remembered which contract it was, I'm just going to search for it in this filter. 3110. Enter. So now it's going to go ahead and look for that contract. And it's one of those user preference features that you can do it any way you want and you'll still be able to find your contract. But for sake of this example, I wanted to use the search bar there just to demonstrate that you can search when there's a lot of data out there. So let's say we have a 2-axle truck, and look at this. It's selected the distribution type as contract since I've selected the contract. Over here it's brought in our contract number. You heard me mention the sequence or delivery period functionality, and right now it's 1 because there is only one sequence. Had there been 10, this could have been sequence 1 of 10, and you'd be able to select which sequence you wanted. But for this example, we're just going to go with sequence 1. And if you recall, it was for 1,000 bushels, so let's go ahead and enter some weights. And let's enter a tare. So we can see when I enter these weights, it does the calculation of net weight and also gets me down to a bushel amount for this commodity. Because I've configured the weight of a bushel of corn. So let's also go over and let's say that this particular load is at 58 pounds a bushel, which is a bit heavy for corn, so it's going to calculate a discount. But now that we've got all information entered, we're going to go ahead and distribute this ticket to the contract. And what that's going to do is it's going to relieve that quantity off of that contract because now it knows we received it across our scale. So here's a nice validation screen where we can see the 982 bushels we brought in. I'm going to say yes, let's process this. And what's going to happen next is it's going to compare against the contract and do a little validation in the background, and then we can see that it distributed the ticket successfully. So now we have ticket 535 that we just brought across our scale. So what we're going to do next is let's go ahead and this was a purchase. So clearly now we have to pay somebody for it. So let's jump into our AP area and let's go to vouchers. And right here on top, this is another example of our sorting capability. So right on top is ticket 535. This is the one we just brought across our scale. And as I open it up, I can look at it. I can see that it's contract 3110. I can see the amounts. I can see the slight discount. It looks great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pay these guys. Now, should I have not been happy with what I saw, I might go ahead and say, oh, I might have selected the wrong contract, or maybe the price wasn't what I expected it to be. Maybe I missed a decimal place, something along those lines. I could unpost it, and I could check what the unpost preview looked like before I did that. But for this example, let's go ahead and pay Adept. So as this opens up, there we go. I can see all the details of the contract. I can see the payment amount. I can see which checking account it's going to come out of, or which bank account. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to process the payment. And what it's going to do first is it's going to show me the details of the amount that's going to go out. And I'm say, yep, that looks nice. Let's print the check. So the first thing it does is it creates kind of a settlement report. So had I had 10 contracts with Adept and I wanted to pay them all at once, it would create all those on the settlement report. In this case, the settlement report is going to match the check since there's just one transaction. So I'm going to shut the settlement report here, and now it has brought up the actual check, which matches the amount that was on the voucher, that was on the settlement report. And so we can trace our ticket 535 from contract 3110 all the way through to final payment. So I hope you enjoyed the video.